You can check that out, Southside 17.
Southside 17.
And
show that fancy shirt. I think I'm wearing one too. Look
Yeah.
check this out.
Oh shit.
Video just got way sexier.
Going round, gotta clear out of town. Smell like a traffic boat. Here comes the law, gonna break down the door. Tearing me away once more. Never want it anymore. Gotta get away from the stone cold blow. Crazy, stone cold crazy, you know.
Game on!
Game on!
It's Top Shelf, Week 2. I am the captain. This is Abe Froman, Sausage King of Chicago. And right off the bat, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. My guys suck right now. The Bruins have zero defense. Zero defense. Like, alarmingly bad defense. And the worst part is you can't blame Tuke. He's doing one hell of a job with what he's got. And facing a lot of shots. It's just the way it is. You're going to face that many shots, you're going to eventually let in a bunch of goals. And our offense is killing it, though. We're putting points on the board. We're just not keeping them out of the net.
And Jar's making headlines, doing nice things.
Yeah, but he's also wobbling around on the ice. He's still kind of day to day, and that's not helping our defense at all. And the new kids haven't gelled yet. But 0-3 start, first time since before Bobby Orr that the Bruins have had an 0-3 start. So, yay! We broke records. That's what we did this season so far. But on to Week 2. What do you want to get into first? What are you going to talk about? First showing of the 3-on-3 overtime and debates about shootouts?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, would you say Tampa Bay was the first?
So we had the first 3-on-3.
There you go.
Garrison, defenseman, Tampa Bay. If you're a Bolts fan, you know who I'm talking about. 2 minutes, 17 seconds left in the first 3-on-3 overtime. Got the goal, got the go-ahead. Did it on a breakaway, which is, as a defenseman, very impressive.
Yeah.
But it was Flyers. And, Philly's not bad this year. So,
They're not.
Any Flyer fans out there? Not trash talking, just saying. Still impressive. It's the 3-on-3. I think it was he had his first multiple goal game in his career, so that was really impressive for Garrison too. It was his 6th goal in 71 games. So I think that's right there. That was a milestone for him. So I think moving forward, if you're a Tampa Bay fan, that's something to look for.
Right.
You got a defenseman who's getting a hot stick early, which will get you points early.
That's true.
Maybe get you back to a Stanley Cup, and you can not sell tickets again. So
Yeah, I was just about to say I hate to give Bolts credit just because of their organization and all that mess, but in case anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, actually, because we mentioned that twice and we kind of didn't elaborate on it. If anybody has no idea why we were making fun of the Bolts last week and why we just made fun of it again, 2 teams, Nashville and Tampa Bay, are starting this trend where if they get into the playoffs, they don't allow ticket sales for their home games to out-of-state residents, which means if your team's playing Tampa Bay or Nashville in the playoffs and you have the kind of money where you want to say, go to Tampa Bay or Nashville to see your team play them, you can't do it unless you have a Florida or Tennessee residence or
state ID,
credit card linked to those kind of address. You need to go through somebody in that state to get those tickets. It's ridiculous. Even if you get into the arena, they won't let you wear your team's
Tampa
apparel.
Bay won't.
That's right. Nashville
wasn't
allows it.
as Nazi about it, but
Tampa Bay went the extra step and wouldn't allow people, Hawks fans, to wear Blackhawks gear during.
because they called it a blue out or whatever.
Yeah,
Like, you had
that's
blue in the ring. Or
That's the thing, which is fine. I mean, most of your fan base is going to be the home crowd anyway. It's just the way it is. Nobody has the money to go to every Blackhawks game, even the away games.
except for the Sausage King of Chicago.
Except for Hank Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago. But you're going to still get that effect. Most of the crowd's going to be wearing white or blue or whatever. The blue and white, I mean, whatever they were wearing. There were two inventive Hawks fans that have worn Blackhawks jerseys underneath their Tampa Bay jerseys, so they just pulled them halfway and that was good stuff.
Rocking the Hawk sash.
Yeah.
basically.
So in case you didn't know what we're talking about, that's what we're talking about.
Little insight.
Yeah. So anyway, back to 3-on-3 OT and the debate about shootouts and whatnot.
Well, how do you feel about the shootout, Rich?
I see. Now I like the shootout. I don't hate it. But at the same time, I'm all for 3-on-3, especially after last year with the Cap shootout against, what was it, Buffalo? Whoever they went up against, I forget. The Caps had a shootout that went like 45 rounds or something ridiculous like that. It was absolutely insane. And that was the nail in the coffin. They had been debating this for a long time, is sometimes shootouts go too long. And a lot of people feel that if you win in a shootout, it's kind of like, what's the old adage? Kissing your sister, it doesn't count kind of stuff. But, I'm all for the 3-on-3 OT. I believe as of right now, 70% of games that have gone into 3-on-3 have ended in 3-on-3, which is the intent. That's what the intent is. The NHL wants to cut down the number of shootouts, which I'm all for. I don't hate the shootouts. I like them. I think they're exciting. But I'm definitely on board with trying to cut down the amount of times that we see it, just because we want to see, those heartbreaking last-second goals,
And to play devil's advocate, because I love the shootout, there's a lot of people have the opinion that, oh, well, you go to a shootout, it becomes an individual sport, and hockey's a team sport, and it's all about the team,
right.
and
I can see that argument.
And there's the purist, I guess, of the sports,
right.
Really, they don't like the fact that the game's decided by one player. And when you take, call it Patrick Kane, and you put him up against Lundqvist, and it's like, okay, it's either goaltender or the offenseman is gonna decide the game.
Yeah.
And I understand where that comes from. Personally, I think it's exciting as hell.
Who doesn't want to see Patrick Kane go one-on-one with Lundqvist?
You get. It goes back to Mighty Ducks. You get the triple deke. It's like
don't even get me started on why that movie's so wrong.
Oh, it's so wrong.
So many ways it makes no sense. That shootout makes no sense. Go back and watch the Mighty Ducks. That whole beginning of that movie makes zero sense. Anyway,
but no, I mean personally, I love the shootout, and I don't want to see it eradicated. I do like the movement to the 3-on-3 because it keeps that team synergy where you got to get out there and do it. It's our best three on your best three with our goaltender in net.
Right.
I like it. So I think it's a good compromise because it is. I mean, it's much more. There's a lot more puck movement when there's only three people on the ice because you can't just hold on to it.
And as the coach, you got to figure out who's going to be your fastest skaters, but without letting up any kind of defense.
Right. So I mean, like Garrison, he was the defenseman on the 3-man line.
But he can move.
You need a two-way player in that situation, which I think is also, once you get later into the season, we'll see a little bit movement as far as trades and who they're looking for.
Yeah,
I don't think you're going to see as many wings get moved around as you are defensemen get moved around because they're going to realize, oh shit, and like
we're gonna need more two-way defensemen. That's just the way it is. So yeah, I mean, I'm all for the 3-on-3. I don't hate the shootout. I like that there is still shootouts. I like that. I think that it makes it more exciting, honestly, the shootout, because if you got to that point, you beat a 3-on-3 to get there, and that just heightens the drama that much more. So, yeah, let us know what you think. You can comment on YouTube, like right under there, and tell us, and yell at us, and tell us we're stupid or whatever. I don't care. Yell at each other.
Yeah, if you want to talk about something make posts. Say,
That's
hey,
true.
Why don't you talk about this?
That's true.
Because we talk about things we want to talk about.
You guys could totally like post on the Facebook page or hit us up on Twitter at. Oh, nope. There we go. Boom. That right there. That's where I'm going to put the Twitter thing.
And
So.
I think we need like hashtag something. That's what I was told. We have to hashtag hockey Charleston.
Not yet. We're not
like
there.
that.
We haven't earned it.
Okay. All right.
So
I don't know what a hashtag is.
also we're going to try out a kind of a new segment. I guess I don't know. Maybe it'll be an every week thing. But right now it's going to be called Brick Wall of the Week.
All in all, it's just another brick in the wall. All in all, you're just another brick in the wall.
And who do we got for the Brick Wall of the Week?
Niemi, who we messed up on last week talking about him being in San Jose.
Right.
I dropped the ball on that, did not realize he had been traded.
I also said it.
But man,
Yeah.
opening start. No, 37 saves in his debut, and he had 2 assists. 2 assists.
Yeah.
Only goaltender to ever do that in NHL history.
Yeah.
You know,
He absolutely came out like a beast, and it wasn't just that he had a shutout; it was the saves he was making were lights out. I mean, he was just on fire. Unbelievable play style. He managed well between being aggressive at the right times and staying in the net at the right times.
and it was his first shutout since he left Chicago.
Yeah.
So that was also a
Where he
double
won
thing
you
for
guys
me.
a cup.
I'd like to see, even if you leave the Hawks, I like to see careers go and be productive. So
And we can pat ourselves on the back because we definitely did mention that he was going to have a
We did.
nice little showing.
we
last
said he was going to be
We
awesome.
did.
We just
We
said
did.
it for the wrong.
we just gave the wrong team credit is all. So that's why we're only patting ourselves on the back a little bit. Speaking of things we called last week. Oh, before we get on to that, honorable mention for Brick Wall of the Week has to go to Lundqvist, Jimmy Howard, and Neuwirth, who had an excellent shutout. It was against Florida, but still, a shutout is a shutout, and he was facing a lot of nasty little shots that he didn't let in. Almost caught short side a couple times, and he was really good hugging the pipes. So, honorable mentions to those guys.
And Jimmy Howard's raising like 18 grandchildren or something.
Yeah, he's still killing it. Every time we think this is going to be the year where he starts to decline, he just goes right back. I think we even mentioned it last week.
Mad love for the Howard.
We
Mad
mentioned
love.
Jimmy Howard last week. I think not exactly in the flattering light, but still, whatever. He's still in the consciousness as far as goalies go. But speaking of excellent performances from people we called last week, Panarin, your rookie.
Oh man, told you he's Russian. Like,
Called it. 4 goals in 3 games. 4 points in 3 games, 2 goals, and both of those goals were just ballsy. Just ballsy. Like, right in the eyes, I'm going to look at you, I'm going to go short side, and that's going to be the end of it. And there's nothing you can do. He scored on Lundqvist.
Yeah, that first goal.
His first goal in the
against
NHL, he scores on Lundqvist, looking him dead in the eye. I mean, what more could you ask for as a rookie player? What are your thoughts on the new kid?
I like him. He's quick. I like him. He's fast. He's Russian. He's good. So far, he's shown that he's got, poise. He stays on the ice. He stays where he needs to be, and we'll see. I mean, it could be beginner's luck, but so far he's kept up a pace of the game, and he'll do what he's got to do.
I will give him that much credit that we will say that it could be beginner's luck, but at the same time, he is extremely talented. That's why Chicago was glad to get him, and I'm excited to see what he does this week and for the rest of the season. So we were talking about the Rangers. Oscar Lindberg is their awesome rookie. Also 4 points in 3 games.
Is he also Russian?
I don't know. Lindberg?
Yeah.
Could be.
Like Charles. Yeah. Probably American.
Maybe. But excellent showing from him. I honestly think this season could be a big rookie outpouring. There's a lot of good guys aside from Connor, who's not doing shit. In Edmonton, just nothing. Yet, anyway. I know it's still early. It's still only been 1 week. But everybody expected a big outpouring from him. Looks like he's going to need to adjust to the NHL a little bit more than previously thought. So, what's your take on Lindberg, the rookies, Connor?
So far, I mean, like you said, I mean, there hasn't really been enough hockey. I mean, anything
true.
right now would be speculation. I
Right.
mean, it's awesome to see. I mean, a couple of rookies out there with 4 points in 2 games. I mean, that's exciting. But at the
3
same
games.
point, it's still what? Say
3 games.
3
Sorry,
games. Yeah.
just clarifying.
But I mean, at the same time, I'm a pessimist when it comes to that though, because I've seen, oh man, this is the guy who's going to turn the franchise around,
Right.
And then it's like, oh well, we traded him 6 months later. So it's like, so personally, I think that you need at least 20 games in to see where they're really at. Let them move around some lines, see how they do in an overtime in a 3-on-3 situation. See
especially
if we
that's
get
gonna be
any rookies in a 3-man line. So I mean, I really think it just takes a little more time before you can actually make an assumption. I mean, you can look at it on paper and be like, oh, this guy's awesome. He's the next Sidney Crosby, blah, blah, blah. Next Patrick Kane, next Taves. But you never really know until you get later into the season.
Right.
Because, I mean, there's still plenty of games where there's injuries you got to worry about. It's like, are they going to be durable?
Right.
I mean, yeah, you could, all the fancy goals in the world, and that's fine. But
you take your first big
take
NHL hit, and
first big check on the board, and you're on the bench.
Yeah.
You don't know. So I think once you get more into the season, we'll be able to actually get on it about that a little more.
Right. And
So-
speaking of big NHL hits, welcome to the West, Milan Lucic.
And you'll see the hit right there. Couture. And as he goes back, Lucic will come all the way across. Here comes the hit. Lucic didn't see him.
Wow, man!
Like, I got to talk about this for a minute because
I'm so in.
I love Luch. But he made plenty of mistakes on Boston where he'd get heated and he'd do some stupid stuff, especially against Montreal because Montreal plays that kind of game. That's one of the main reasons, aside from the defense, that the Bruins fell to Montreal this past couple days. They get under the Bruins' skin, and the Bruins let them do it. And then they get frustrated, they take bad penalties. You look at Marchand with that ridiculous hooking call. That was absolutely unneeded. We were already in a 5-minute major because of the Spooner's hit. The Spooner's hit shouldn't have been a 5-minute major. But when you're already in that situation.
I did see that hit, and I think it was clean.
Yeah, Spooner's hit was clean. There was no reason. I would have... It still would have been a bad call, but at least a 2-minute interference wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But a 5-minute game misconduct, come on. But anyway, back to Luch. The hit against Luch was clean, and then
super clean.
It was just Luch had his head down, and he caught a hip check and went flying like ass over end, absolutely brutal hit, and then decides to go be a goon about it and attacks the bench. Now, that's where Luch really needs to clean up, especially in the West, because there's a lot of big hits in the West. They hit hard, they hit often, and Luch is going to have to maintain his composure if he's going to do anything out there for the Kings, who, by the way, are a dumpster fire in Week 1.
Well, I'm saying,
It's
still early.
Absolutely. But, what else are we going to talk about?
Yeah. Right, no. But, I mean, I don't like jumping right on the board right off the rip,
Right.
3 games in, and then you're on, season's over.
Yeah, no, and I'm not doing that with my boys, who are also really, really bad right now. 0-3 start, first time, like I said, since before Bobby Orr. I'm still Team Sweeney, but it's...
But I will say, in LA, to see how many goals, I mean, even Quick's not even playing bad.
No, he's not.
He's
not.
He's letting goals in the net that
Sloppy.
don't need to be in the net.
Yeah,
It's
he's letting
making
sloppy
3
goals.
epic saves and then letting a loosey go.
Exactly, and that kind of negates when you do something really cool and you stop the puck from going in, but then you're sleeping on the next play and it goes into the back of the net. Then one kind of evens out the other.
I don't know. Pacific Division, worst to first. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you'd have said the Canucks were going to be leading the division right off the rip, I wouldn't have.
No, but they're killing it too. They're doing really well.
2-0-1.
It's the right now the teams to look at are the Rangers. They're absolutely clicking on all cylinders, killing it, and your boys again are 2-1. That's still good.
I mean,
but it's not so much
honestly,
the wins.
The Wild.
Yeah,
the Wild
Minnesota.
They're killing it right now. The Wild, 4 straight season opening wins, and we've seen what they did, like what they did last year. If they can just make it to the playoffs and not play the Blackhawks, I think that their team.
Yeah, that's not impartial at all.
Yeah, I think that they've got the skill set to take it on.
Well, My thing when when I was talking about, just mentioned the Blackhawks, it's not necessarily the wins. It's the way they're playing with a brand new team, and they're still going out there and gelling the way that they do. To watch them on the ice, you wouldn't know it that most of the roster that most of the roster is gone. They're just immediately clicking, and part of that is Q-Stash. He absolutely knows how to wrangle his players. And speaking of coaches and wrangling players, I'm going to go back to my boys for a minute. How long do you think Claude has to pull around before he gets dumped? Because the word on the street is Sweeney is not a fan of Claude Julien, and he's kind of looking for any reason to get rid of him. My only issue is, I mean, who do you replace him with? I don't hate Claude. He won us a cup. Yeah, I think he's an excellent coach. Aside from the fact that he won us a cup, but then on top of that, you look at who's available, and there's really nobody else out there that we could get that is better than him, or even comparable.
I mean, you rewind the clock a year, and you dump him off and pick up Babcock.
Yeah, that would have been huge. That would have been huge. But I don't know. Dumping him after last year though would have been that would have been kind of throwing him under the bus because we didn't get into the playoffs, which really wasn't his fault. We suffered a lot of injuries last year.
But I mean, how far do you want to wait? Like
that's true.
That's the thing. It's like, okay, well, we don't want to look at assuming that we didn't make a playoff, so we'll give them a shot. But if you've got that much hostility in the front office.
Well, see,
something is going to break.
To be clear, it is speculation. I wouldn't necessarily call it hostility yet because nothing's been really like public or open.
Yeah.
But the word around is that Sweeney's just not a fan of him. They might get along. They might it could be like any other most GM coach scenarios where sometimes they don't agree, whatever, but they know how to work well together. We don't know what that is, but. I do know that I know Sweeney, is getting a lot of heat because he didn't go after any defenseman, and rightfully so.
As we had mentioned with the 3-on-3.
Yeah, if we come up against 3-on-3, we're kind of screwed. You're gonna see a lot of Bergie and Krejci out there, and it's gonna be mostly them doing all the work. We're gonna have the D-men lined up in front of the net. Praying to stop any kind of shot. We're going to have Bergeron Defensive Player of the Year.
Which helps with Tuukka Rask and net as well. So,
yeah, that does. I mean, Tuuk's still Tuuk. Like we said earlier, you face that many shots, you're going to let something in. That's going to happen. That's one of the reasons why we've let so many goals in. It's not like we're getting blown out every game. We're putting points on the board, especially this last one, 6-3. And we came out strong. The first period was absolutely ours. 3 power play goals. The first 2 in the first period were absolutely lightning. But you need defense. And with Sweeney not going after any kind of defenseman, he needs to turn that around real quick or figure something out. If there's some sort of plan that they haven't announced yet, time to pull the trigger. That's just the way it is. How do you think you guys are going to look going on a 3-on-3?
Personally, I want to see it mixed up. I think we're going to see more of with the way the rookie's playing. I think we'll see more of him in that situation.
You think they'll put him in a 3-on-3
scenario?
scenario?
I think we'll be that first squad
early on in the year. Try it out, see how it works.
But I mean, that's also we're notorious for overtime, so
yeah, that is true.
We're going to have a lot more. I feel like just the way the Blackhawks play. I mean, even in the opening game, we had a chance to tie it up and take it to overtime, which
almost did too.
But they recalled the goal for whatever reason. They called Tays interference or goalie interference on Tays.
Yeah, we got shafted like that as well. They're going heavy on goalie interference this year. That's kind of with the goal review available to the coaches. It seems like a lot of things are getting pulled back because of goalie interference, and some of them are good calls, some of them are bad calls. The one against Bergeron, sorry to bring my boys up again, but the one against Bergeron was ridiculous.
Well, which is the problem you're going to have anytime you put the review system in for the first year.
Yeah,
it's going to get
played a lot.
Used and used.
A lot of coaches are going to whip that out any chance they get.
Not to go trans sports, but I was watching football on Saturday, and it seemed like every single play is under review now. Under review.
That's one of the things the NFL's doing really well.
And it's like, oh, God.
Which is why hockey's better.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just let the boys play. Just let them play.
Yeah, absolutely. Even again, while we went off hockey for like 2 more seconds, Cubs.
one more game,
Right.
and we're going on to a division championship.
That's true.
So.
That's true. And now back to hockey. So who do you think's got probably the best chances for a 3-on-3 right now?
Right now, I'm really liking Dallas, man.
Yeah.
Like Dallas is gelling. The stars are coming together. Niemi, like we talked about earlier, is
Lights out.
looking great in the net, and Dallas has enough leeway with their roster that they have the defensemen that they can put out on guys. So right now, I'm thinking if we're looking at overtime overalls, I think Dallas is going to have the upper echelon of points as far as that's concerned.
Honestly, I think the trades between Chicago and Dallas were absolutely gorgeous for both teams. I think they both walked out of that pretty well, and now we're seeing it. Even this early on, we're already seeing some really good production from both teams. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. The East needs to pick up. That's just the way it is,
And now that Matt Cook's not in Dallas, I can actually respect the Stars.
This is true. We still haven't gotten to see Luch first.
Not yet.
That's the one time I'll go back on what I just said about where Luch needs to keep his composure when they go up against Minnesota. I want to see Luch be a goon and just go right after Matt Cook.
Minnesota's tough right now too, though. I mean, I think they're tough offensively. They haven't allowed too many goals.
Yeah,
but they're coming out swinging.
Absolutely.
I said, as long as they can make it to the playoffs and not play the Blackhawks, they've got a good shot at a cup this year.
Yeah, I mean, screw it. We'll do, just because it's week 2 and there's not a whole lot to talk about that isn't speculation. We might as well just go full bore on speculation. No spin zone here. Who do you think you're looking at for Western Division for the Cup?
I would like to say Chicago.
Well, aside from Chicago,
but I mean, that's what I said. I'd like to say it, but I would not be surprised to watch Dallas climb worst to first, get a wild card spot, and then run the gauntlet. Right now, I'm saying it. The Stars.
If the playoffs were to start tomorrow,
Stars winning the cup.
Stars winning the cup.
Mm-hmm.
What about East?
Oh man, I mean, I want to throw it out there just because I would love to see it. But I think that the Islanders have a shot at making the playoffs this year. I really think that they have the structure, and they're playing with more poise than they've played in the last few years. Like, even though they're losing, they're not losing bad.
Right.
And
they put up a good show last year too.
Yeah.
You could already see the foundation of what was coming.
So yeah, I mean, if I were to call it in a fantasy world of speculation, Dallas Islanders Cup.
That's not bad. I go with Dallas Rangers just because the Rangers are killing it right now. If the playoffs were to start right now, I don't think anybody's stopping them.
With that being said, you cannot count out what Babcock's gonna do in Toronto.
That's true. We haven't mentioned Toronto once, aside from mentioning Babcock earlier. We do need to clarify that Toronto actually could turn things around. Rough loss against Montreal opening night.
It was,
but one hell of a game.
Yeah, it was a good game.
It was absolute good game. From buzzer to buzzer, just amazing.
And I tell you what, man, with the way that he coaches, if he can get a little momentum and light that fire, the Mapes could make a run for it. So.
Part of that also has to be team morale. You gotta figure they're coming off of that ridiculous showing from last season with their fans just throwing in the towel.
And we talked about that last week.
I
I think that they really have a chip on their shoulder when they're getting on the ice, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna make you want to come see us.
Yeah, and that can go either way. That's the way you want it to go. You want them to come out and go, look, we got to prove ourselves for our fans. You don't want to see them come out and go, screw these people. Yeah. We're going to do whatever we want. But we covered the rookies.
Mm-hmm.
Covered Niemi.
3-on-3.
Brick Wall of the Week, presented by Southside 17, Tanger Outlets.
Tanger Outlets. Southside 17.
What else? 3-on-3. We talked about shootouts. I think we covered pretty much all we can cover on week 1. As far as week 1 goes, overall, great hockey. So glad it's back. Can't even express how happy I am that hockey is back. How about you? Greatest time of the season, right?
I mean, right now, life is good for me.
Yeah.
As far as sports are concerned, I'm happy. But
you got Kane on the ice and Arietta on the mound. It's just
happy time in Chicago right now.
Yeah. I got to give it to you.
That being
Abe
said,
Froman just coming in hot.
The sausage.
By the way, also, as far as hot takes, if anybody was watching the Bruins game against Montreal, it was Hockey Night in Canada, and Don Cherry's suit My God. I mean, already. I mean, he has suits. We are all aware of Don Cherry's suits. Grapes, you're killing it. Always the suit game is up here. But, like, he took it up here. Like, just absolutely out of frame is where Don Cherry's suit went. I'm going to post a picture of it right now. And there it is. So, Don Cherry, absolutely killing it. Love your suit game. Can't wait to see what you pull out next this week.
And I think we're going to see a lot of, in the next 2 weeks, we'll see a lot of leapfrog as far as the standings are going. Because
Yeah, everything's going to get
I mean, right now, with the way the Hawks are playing, they're sitting in 4th position. With the way the Wild's playing, they're sitting in the last position, or the second position. With the way that Dallas is playing, they're sitting in the last position. We're going to see a lot of positions switching around.
We didn't really think this through when we were like, yeah, week 1, we got a ton to talk about. And then week 2 came around and was like, mostly speculations. But anyway, week 2 starts off tomorrow night. Only one Wednesday night rivalry game. And surprisingly enough, it's you again.
Well, there's 4, actually. So,
well, there's 4 games.
Yeah.
But there's one NBC
rivalry, yeah.
Wednesday night rivalry.
Yeah.
And it's the Flyers are hosting you boys.
Yep. Flyers, Blackhawks, 8 o'clock. You can check that out. Southside 17.
Southside 17.
So right next to Ashley Furniture, Tanger Outlets, 8 o'clock. All your hockey games. Like I said, there's 4 games. Rivalry game, Chicago, Philly. Also Ottawa and Columbus. That's at
true.
7 o'clock.
Bruins Avs at 10. Yeah,
10 o'clock. Yep.
Avs are hosting the Bruins. Yep.
And then Arizona will be playing Anaheim at 10:30.
That should be actually a pretty interesting game.
I want to see I'd like to see the Oats do well this year. Like I want to see them like really.
They better because otherwise they're going to be in Seattle next year in Vegas.
It's like I don't want to see them go, but it's like a shout out Charleston Stingrays.
They start this week.
Mm-hmm.
This week, 17th, Charleston Stingrays open up.
You can see Southside 17 on the ice this year. So
yeah, that's true. And once they get going, we'll talk more about them as well for all the local people watching this. That's like a little bit of preview. We'll talk about that.
And if you have anything to say about it, post it down here.
Absolutely. Comment, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. I have a lot of time on my hands, so. Absolutely, get on it. Let us know what you want to talk about or what you want us to talk about. If you're even like remotely interesting, maybe we'll even actually put your like tweets up here. I'm sure I could figure.
I think
that
those
out.
are hashtags or whatever, right?
No, damn it. He's so bad.
Still
at this.
figuring it out.
So bad at this. Old man Abe Frobisher just has no idea how Twitter works. So yeah, tomorrow night. The game started at 7, but Wednesday night rivalry, Philly.
8 o'clock.
Yeah. Philly, Chicago, that starts at 8, and then we got 2 10:30 games. $5 app drink specials. We get the slap shot going. Already handed out a couple of those last week. It's our signature shot for the hockey club. And definitely come check it out. Come watch the games with us. He'll be
Southside
behind bar.
17.
Southside 17, next to Ashley Furniture, Tiger Outlets. He'll be behind bar. I'll be in front of it. That's the horn. We'll see you next week.
Go on your Facebook and figure out what the hell you're talking about.
Woo! It's a Bruins goal. Anytime you see that, you're going to see that a lot right now. It's hockey season. My Facebook.
Sure, I'm going to see it a lot.